show my love for you.
Welcome to Marriage Mondays, where we talk about all things marriage and, of course, most importantly, family. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in and listening. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you. This is Marriage Mondays.
Can I show my love?
Everything happened in the span of a week or 2 weeks. Like I said, I got on it fast with the wedding dress and all that in the span of a week. So we got engaged Friday. My last day at the job was the next day, that Saturday. And then I want to say either Tuesday or Wednesday, you had got arrested. Or was it Thursday?
Thursday.
Then Thursday you got arrested. And then Monday we found out we were pregnant. Yeah. Let me say this again. Because I don't think, for the people in the back, I don't think y'all heard what I just said. Got engaged Friday. My last day at a stable job was the next day, because we had made an agreement, which I don't know why in the first place, but anyway. Because it was getting hot. The block was getting hot. Okay, yeah. So I had to leave the job. So he had offered me a position to work for him, and I was quitting the job, and that was going to be my last day. Then Thursday, you got fired and arrested from the job. And then Monday, I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah. That was...
No lie, we're not making this up, people.
Yeah, it was situational.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah. So...
Do you want to tell the people about your arrest story?
Very. So I was doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, with somebody else's money for the most part. But it is what it is. I wasn't doing it alone, but at the time I went down alone, and at the end of the day, it was on me. If I wouldn't have been involved in what I was involved in, I wouldn't have. I would have been fine, and I wouldn't never had to go to jail for those few hours. How did
they catch you?
So it was going on for the longest, and basically, I went to jail for felony theft by taking. Is what the charge was. And like I said, not to go into too much detail about it, basically I was misappropriating funds, using customer accounts, and then we was like taking money out the back end. I got sloppy around the wrong people, and one thing about retail locations is cameras everywhere, and and everything is being recorded, everything is being reported. And at the end of the day, if you're doing something at any retail location, anybody out there who work in retail, if you work at a retail location, understand that there's a report for everything, no matter how much you think it's not. And like I said, they had the evidence. It wasn't a whole lot I could say. All I could say is I ain't alone, I wasn't alone, and all this stuff, but I didn't.
You snitched.
I didn't. That was the thing. That was only I could say, but I didn't. I was just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I did what I did. I did my I went and yeah, I ain't really say much. I could have lawyered up and all this old crazy stuff, but I just said I did what I did. They said I had got so many thousands of dollars and all this other stuff, which was cap. But again, it was what it was. Like, they had this evidence. They say they had me on. They said they had me on camera. I never know if they had me on camera. Now, they did have this pile of papers, literally probably about this thick, of all these different transactions and all this stuff. I guess they had evidence of maybe about 2-3 months. So they had been watching this situation going on for like 2-3 months. Okay. And again, like I said, it just so happened I'm the only black face to go to jail that day. But again, it is what it is.
How did you feel when
terrible? Like
when they said you're going to jail and they handcuffed you?
A lot of emotions.
Heart, I would have had a heart attack right there.
I mean, it was a lot of emotions. So this ain't the first time I've been, in front of a police and obviously dealing with police and being in handcuffs and any of that. So now that, if it was my first time, then maybe. But like I said, I had never been to jail, unfortunately, until the end. I had never been, booked and processed and all of that before then. But yeah, so it was just a lot of emotion. It was disappointment in myself. It was disappointment in the people around me. It was a little bit of anger at the people around me. It was some people in particular, but it was just terrible. Like, and then it was disappointment of letting people down. My family, it's like, bro, like, what am I gonna do moving forward? It was like, it's just figure this out.
Yeah. And I did figure it out. I called off the wedding. I called off the wedding. I was like, oh, we can still be engaged, but I definitely called off the wedding. Monday, I went to the doctor because, like I said, I was feeling weird. And then as soon as I had a bowel movement, and the color was this color right here, the black color right here, I was like, okay, no, I need to go to the doctor. Something's wrong with me. Finally went to the doctor, made an appointment, and the appointment was that Monday. And the doctor asked me in front of my mom, like, thanks, sir. Are you sexually active? I was like, why would you ask me that in front of my mom? Then they took me in a private room, and the lady talked to me. She was like, are you sexually active, honey? I was like, yeah, I am. She was like, yeah, pee on this stick. I said, okay. And even then, I still didn't think it was going to come back positive. Child. He bust in that door. He was like, all right, you're pregnant. Like, he literally bust in the door. I was like, all right, you're pregnant, like that. So I'm thinking he's joking. So I laugh. I'm like, and then he starts talking about stuff, and I'm like, oh, wait. You're for real? I'm pregnant for real? And he was like, yeah. And I just started bawling immediately, bawling my eyes out immediately. Then he leaves out the room, and all I hear is, hello, Reggie. Vanessa's pregnant. You're about to be a father. And I think I got the phone. Did she even wait for you to respond?
Yeah, no, I don't think she. I don't. Yeah, I was like, huh? And yeah, I was, and I threw up again. I did. Yeah, this was crazy. I was outside. I was outside. The mama came over there, and she was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, Mama just called me and said she pregnant. And she was like, well, you gotta, this is my mom. You gotta get your shit together now for real. I was like, God damn. Anyway, I was like, well, I mean, at this point. So now at this point, now things get real for me.
Oh my God, so real.
So up until then, this was all about me and you, and it was like, I'll make this work. This is fine. Like, okay. This is fine.
Not the end of the world. Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Right.
I wasn't really worried too much.
No worries.
Financially. Because it was like, I had a little bit of money saved up. I was good. I was like, and I know how to make money, so I'm gonna make money. Took a stable job. Then it started hitting me. You know, all of this. I got a case pending. Like, cause that was crazy. I had been calling lawyers that morning. That's what I had been doing. So I had been calling lawyers telling me how much all this money is gonna cost. You know, I've been hearing $7,500, $5,000. You know, I think the lowest person I heard was like $3,000, but that nigga sounded like he was retarded. So I was like, hell no, I'm not going with that nigga, bro. No. And that nigga was $3,000. I was like, damn, bro.
Going through all that, and the first thing, of course, we thought of was to go get jobs immediately, and I mean immediately. So we both got jobs. It was right down the street from each other, which was awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So real quick about that. So like, this was the thing. Like, I feel like and even to this day, I just felt like everything happened. I don't want to say how it was supposed to happen.
Yes.
I will say,
I actually got that written down on my note.
I mean,
yes, everything happened. Like, God is so perfect. Like, everything happened so perfectly.
So I think a couple things happened that needed to happen for both of us. And I know, speaking for me personally, I know that got me serious about life, about you know, taking life serious and taking the things a part of life serious. Because up to then, I really didn't have a real reason to really like. It sounds kind of messed up, but it's true. Like, I really didn't have a reason to take life serious. Like,
yeah, he said some main things to me, y'all. I almost broke up with him. When we found out we were pregnant, you told me that you was about to start wilding, and that that I would have hated the person you would have became. And I asked you straight up over the phone. I was like, wait a minute, so you were just gonna say screw us and F us? And that's what I think started the thoughts in my head, or I would say the devil in my head, saying, yeah, he don't care about you at all.
Yeah, see, and I think you just took that out of context, because
how would I take that out? That's pretty straightforward.
Well, yeah, but
you said I was finna wild out. You were finna hate the person I was going to become. You probably would have broken up with me.
I did say you probably would have hated the person that I would have been, because what was going to happen.
And then he also said, if you would have broke up with me and you would have came with me and said that you were pregnant, I wouldn't have cared. You also said that too. So all of this is in my head. Just leave that in your head, spaces, people, is what he's telling me.
I don't remember saying that.
Yes.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, you were like, you better be glad you didn't break up with me. Because if you would have came to my note talking about something you were pregnant, I would have been like, okay.
I don't remember that.
Yep, I remember. I remember.
I definitely was wild when I said. I mean, you gotta understand. So my headspace was gone. Like, I yeah,
I understand. I'm just letting you know that's what was said.
I was in a messed up space for a while. Like that whole scenario, the whole job situation, really for like that whole year, and then leading up into what ended up being the arrest, and then our situation, and then you being pregnant and all of that, and it was really like a strong 2-3 years that my head was just messed up. But I am going to say though, I probably would, had you not been had all of that not happened in the time period that it did, yeah, I was probably going on some wild shit. I probably was going to do like, I mean, I was just going to revert back to what I knew.
Yeah.
Like,
we worked at our jobs that were right down the street from each other, and then the bigger I got, the job was more of like a stocking, and it was a bookstore, and I had to clean the bathroom, get all it was very physical demanding, and the bigger I got, the more I could not do it. And then of course I wasn't working out, which you should do, but you remained at your job, which is still your current job now. I was starting to, because of course my mom was old school, we came from an old school background. She was like, oh, when you get pregnant, marriage immediately. So I was pressuring you. I was like, before this child is born, I need to be Mrs. Davis. And you remember what you said to me? Y'all, I was so mad at him. He said, we need to take things slow. I don't want to no, you said I don't want to rush into the marriage. Boy, I tell you, if I had the power of fire breathing, immediately I would have scorched you. Because y'all, mind you, I did the timeline. We got engaged before we found out we were pregnant. So this wasn't I'm pregnant, oh, let me go marry you. No. We were trying to do things in order. And so when he said that, I'm like, bro, what? Fast forward to March. My pregnancy was good too, by the way. Everything was good. My auntie did the baby shower. It was amazing. I'll show pictures, and everything was good. The pregnancy was good. And then we get to I was induced, and we get to RJ. RJ was born March 31st, 2016. I was not married, but he was born March. I had to bite the bullet on that one, y'all, child. Ooh. I want to say 4 months later, we finally got married after RJ was born. And it was beautiful. Our wedding day was great. Went to the courthouse. Had a little thing at my mom's house. And then we moved in together. Moved in to the apartment. And then had maybe a honeymoon phase of, how long do you think our honeymoon phase was? I say it was 2 months. I'll say probably 2 months, somewhere in there. And then like you said, it was, at the time we didn't know why we continued to clash heads. We kind of knew a little surface levels, but now that we're older and grown and we understand now we know it's because, first of all, y'all, me and him never even lived alone, never even lived outside of our homes. That's the first thing. So we're new to paying bills, paying rent, paying all of this on our own. So we're new to that. That's one. And then 2, new to being parents. And then 3, new being husband and wife. So we had all of those things fighting against us, and we were trying to communicate and trying to express it like, y'all, no matter how much y'all think y'all are communicating, you probably ain't. If you're screaming at each other back and forth, no one's listening. That's not how you communicate. Every night we would argue. Every night. And my issue at the time was we weren't spending enough time together, and I knew something was telling me this is detrimental. Like, y'all need to have some time together, and you just turned into a complete whole nother person. You were mean, and so mean to me. I was like, oh my God. And then he lied and talking about he don't like going out to eat, and that's all we did when we dated. And I was like, what? And then you didn't want to do nothing with me. You always took RJ somewhere. You didn't take me nowhere. Every time I worked on Sunday, you talking about, oh, we at the flea market. I'm like, what? I want to go and do things.
Okay, so I got a couple things to say about that. So number one, going back, remember what I said about being around each other all the time was good and bad. It was
definitely screwed ourselves up.
Yeah, we set up. It was again not what we were used to. We again had kind of set ourselves up for all the time that we spent, and we had built our relationship based on that. Second thing, so we were making our, I like to say, our souls and our spirits were not longing, thriving, wanting to be selfish. We wanted to make selfish decisions. We wanted to make these decisions that young couples make, new couples make. Like, we wanted to work.
On top of us moved in together and we got all this stress, I hated the sit down job at that moment, because all I knew before I got pregnant was moving around. Like, I cannot sit and be still and just be for hours all day long. So I started to hate my job. It really started to take a very negative, bad turn. I was like, bro, I have to find something. So I started YouTube, and then of course I started a new job. I found a new job, and I was starting to feel a little bit better at the time for myself, because I was like, okay, I'm asking him, spend time with me, we need romance, hello, help me out. And he's like, you need to support me on this job, and I need this job, you need to be more supportive. So I was like, okay, well, how can I be more supportive? Let me find stuff and let me do some hobbies. And that's how I started YouTube in 2016.
The thing about it was, you were telling me that my job, which is in car sales, was a single person's job.
I did.
Now, guess what kind of job she went and got?
I don't know two things about this job.
So I was like, so not only do you go get a job in car sales that you're screaming at me every day and every night about,
Period.
For the most part, you go and get a job to a rival place.
Period.
So it was like,
you weren't hearing me out, bro.
I don't know how to be a husband to you. That was the energy I was giving you.
But so what were you doing at that moment, at that time, to try?
So I thought the best thing that I could do for you was provide for you. Was to provide a sense of security.
Okay, but we were arguing.
Yes.
And you said I need to be more, stop complaining, I need to be more supportive. Yes. So you knew that providing wasn't enough. So what were the steps that you took?
I get that. Yes, I wasn't listening to you. So to your point, yes, I wasn't listening to you because that's what a husband would do. A husband would listen. A husband would take into account what you were saying and then try and address that.
So you were trying to figure out how to be a father, and I definitely was trying to figure out how to be a mom. I think I definitely was. I had postpartum.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and like I said, parenthood. If you take parenthood seriously, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to learn.
So I got a job in car sales, just like you.
Yeah.
And that pissed you off. But it made me happy. And but I guess we see why now in the underlining aspects of why you were so upset with that. I guess that was your instincts, but about 7 months into the marriage and about 4 months after I started working there, something like that, I had an affair with someone, and that of course made things even more worse with us. I don't know what I was doing with you. I don't even know if we were still arguing, having conversations. I don't know. The devil definitely had my mind somewhere else, very wrapped up, very much so. It's better over here. You gotta leave your marriage. Point blank in a discussion. And I asked for a divorce, and then you had a little thing going on too, but it wasn't nothing like I was doing. We were just not giving each other the time of day anymore. We were elsewhere, something like that. We were gonna file, and then I had got fired from my job January 2020. And we weren't living together at this time. I had got fired from my job, found another job, and then March C-19 happened, and everything was shut down. We wasn't filing nothing, and because we were about to. I just think that everything, like I said earlier, like everything looked like it was strategic and perfect, because I don't even know what would have happened to us if we stayed together during COVID. I don't even know. And I think it was perfect that we didn't have a huge bill anymore, and we were separate. Like, I just feel like everything worked out, which a lot of people hesitate to say that because of COVID-19, because of C-19, because so many lives were lost and it was a lot of turmoil. But for some people, some great things did happen. Immediately you go into self-reflective mode. I immediately went into self-reflective mode. That whole 2 years of Separated was a huge spiritual awakening, as people say. I'm not even the same person I was. I definitely became a different person, and I became closer to God, and just all these visions and spiritual awakening. And I started working out and eating better, and just became a better me. And we both did that individually, and then unbeknownst to us, we just kind of gravitated back towards each other, and then we started dating again. And y'all, we went on trips, went out to eat, spent Valentine's Day together, and
and I mean, I think the good thing too, though, it goes back to, we really never lost contact
because we had a child.
Because we had a child.
Mm-hmm.
RJ was staying with me primarily, doing all of that.
And let's touch on that. Ooh, my family did not like that, honey. They had a lot to say about our son living with their father, which, and I wish I would have challenged them and asked them, well, why shouldn't the son be with the dad? I should have asked that question. I really would like to know the answer to that, but that's just, all they know. When people know something, they think that that's the right place and that's what you need to do, and all of this, not knowing that God has different plans for different people and different lives. Everything ain't for everybody, but I knew in my heart automatically that our son needed to be with you. He needs his father. I mean, he needs his mom too, but he definitely needs to be with you for that. But yeah, RJ was living with you primarily. You would drop him off, and we did the whole kind of divorce thing, but not really. Kind of started dating each other again. I was starting to kind of fall back in love with you and seeing that you changed. And then what did it for me was my birthday that year. For some reason, I was just not feeling it. I was like, I don't want to do nothing. And anybody knows me, I love birthdays. That is my favorite. I love birthdays. I think you should celebrate life for sure. And I just did not want to celebrate my birthday that year. And he was like, say what? No, we're celebrating your birthday. So after my birthday, which was October, December 19th, which was so cute, which was all them years ago, he asked me to be his girl. And the same day, December 19th, he asked me to be his girlfriend again. About a couple months later, about 5 months later or something, we moved in here, and we're back together. And I feel like we're so much better. I know we're only going to get better, but I just feel like we have such a clear mind this time around. I feel like everything's more lighthearted now. There's no tension. There's no uncomfortableness. We're super comfortable. We can communicate. We don't get into a lot of arguments. Now, I'm gonna be honest, when we do be a little petty with it, but it mostly be a little bit of playing around in my book, because I'm like, there's just nothing ever that can be serious. And yeah, that's our marriage story, guys. Our origin story, I should say. Any advice for the people?
More important than knowing your mate, know yourself before you get married.
And how can the people know themselves?
You got to figure that out for yourself. So you got to figure out what's the best thing for you to help yourself. Like I said, for me, it was therapy. Therapy ain't for everybody. Talking your problems out and putting stuff on the table and deep diving into your past and all that.
Definitely have a healthy outlet for sure.
Yeah, I mean, whatever is your therapy, I suggest you do it, and so that you can be the best person, which will ultimately make you the best father, mother, husband, wife, sister, brother, son, daughter, all that. Yeah. Like it'll really just make you a better person.
And I'll definitely say, take your time. Like the late great Takeoff said, I don't have to run because it's not a race. Like what are y'all racing for? Racing to get married, racing to have a baby. I gotta have a house by this age. I gotta have this by this, and everybody running nowhere fast, like going nowhere fast. Like, slow down, take your time. Take your time. Enjoy what Mike Todd said. Enjoy your singleness. Enjoy it. Enjoy every little moment, and like you said, get that healing. Get yourself healing. Get yourself work, and take your time. Mahalo. But yeah, babe, if you don't have anything else, that was Marriage Mondays, our origin story. Yeah, guys, thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all so much for watching my YouTube fam. And if y'all have any questions or comments, something that we skipped or you want to know, elaborate more on, comment down below. Let us know. And yeah. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye. Peace. Say bye, babe.
Can I show my love for you? Can I show